Welcome to A Cyster and Her Mister, a podcast where we show you the real behind the scenes of how we balance the PCOS lifestyle in our marriage, gluten and dairy free. I'm Talene, your fellow sister and registered dietitian.
And I'm Sirak, husband, engineer, and PCOS personal trainer. We're gonna make PCOS a little less overwhelming and a lot more fun.
Cyster and Her Mister. Cyster and Her Mister.
All right, our microphones are set. God knows it took me about 10 minutes to set mine up.
What's up, sisters?
What up, sisters? We're here on the first episode of A Cyster and Her Mister. Sirak, this is Talene. Most of you know Talene from her Instagram, PCOS weight loss. She's helped countless of you sisters and many others out there. I'm her lucky, fortunate husband, Sirak, here with you.
Aww.
Talene, why don't you give a little introduction to our sisters and tell them about ourselves?
Hi, everyone. I'm sure you've seen us on Instagram story. My cute husband teaching me how to work out and do all these cool things and our dinners and everything. My name is Talene. I'm a registered dietitian, and you can find me on Instagram. And we decided to start this podcast because we wanted it to be an extension of Instagram.
That's right. Yeah. We get a lot of great comments from you guys, great DMs to Talene's account about you guys love the content that she puts out there, and especially the content about us and our life. So what we really wanted to do was create a podcast that showcases our day-to-day lives with, you know, just what we do, but also with Talene's PCOS and how we're able to manage it from a day-to-day basis with no real issues, you know?
Exactly. I know many of you have told me in my DMs and everything that you find it hard to apply the PCOS lifestyle when you have a spouse or a family to feed, and eating gluten and dairy free is kind of difficult to get other people on board. And, you know, sometimes we just want a supportive community out there. So that's what I'm trying to bring to you, to help you figure out ways to apply it to your lifestyle while living with other people. And so I feel like we do a pretty good job of that because you're so supportive since day one.
Yeah, I guess I would say I'm supportive, but, you know, that's because Talene has always made it easy for me to understand what PCOS is.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll be here to talk about our day-to-day lives. We're going to give you guys a quick introduction today about me and Talene, how we met, you know, our little quirks about each other and, you know, what we do
You guys
together.
can get to know us before we start on our next few episodes.
That's right.
Coming up.
So, to give you guys a quick introduction about us, Talene and I met on Tinder. That's right. Tinder is the magic land where it happens.
I'm a Tinderella.
So it was about 4 years ago. Talene and I met on Tinder. We swiped right, as they would say. And
there I was, sitting on my couch in downtown LA, swiping on Tinder when I came across your cute face.
That's true. And, you know, we had a date about a week later in Sunset, Hollywood, California. And
he took me out to dinner, like a dinner date.
The restaurant was called Church and Key, no longer open, unfortunately. But the memories are still in my head.
Yeah, I used to go on like drink dates with guys because I was scared to go on actual dinner dates because there's just too much. Like, now you have to tell them you're gluten and dairy free, and like, what if they're weird about it? What if they're just weird in general? You don't want to spend the whole dinner with them. Yeah. But with you, I just like jumped into it. Full force, like, I'm so shy. I can't believe I did that.
I know. Talene wanted to talk to me on the phone before we went out on our first date. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Let's just first go on our first date.
I'm like, who is this guy?
What kind of you should know a man.
I mean.
Especially, okay, right now, just so you guys know, I'm 29 years old. Talene's 28. When we met, we were 25, 26. No person or no guy wants to talk on the phone
to someone they don't know yet.
They haven't met yet. Talking on the phone is valuable time for a guy. That is like gold for someone in the 1940s who was like, you know, trying to make it out in the West or something.
Stop.
You know, for me, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk on the phone. You really sound like a great girl via text.
You're
That's
like, this
enough
is good
for
enough.
me. Exactly. I can wait to now go on the first date with you.
So we went on the first date.
Yeah.
there I was sitting in front of the restaurant waiting for you. And I remember sitting there being like, what am I doing with my life? I'm on a blind date. I don't know who this guy is. What I'm sitting outside. Everyone can see me. And then you walked up to me, or like I used to,
Yeah,
you
I
like
kind of like
jogged
jogged up
up
the
to me.
stairs, and like I was like, "What's up?"
And you were so sweet at first, but you were just really quiet
Oh,
because,
yeah, I actually
yeah.
had prior to this, about a week later, due to being sick and going on an airplane, I had some sort of ear problems where I couldn't hear well. Because of this, I was super quiet.
And I had to yell like the whole day, and he was
Yeah,
quiet, which is completely the opposite of
yeah, it's like exactly like
now.
if you guys know me, the people that know me, I'm actually very loud and I'm kind of like kind of get like the center of the attention in the room
Oh my
sometimes.
God. And I'm
So
like
that's not like so I
quiet.
kind of like duped her there, but it was by accident.
Duped me.
Anyways, we had the first date and it went great. Not to mention we talked about Talian's
Yeah.
PCOS. Not by like not that it came up just out of nowhere. We were about to order the appetizers and the drinks and Talian just kind of hinted that oh she can't have gluten, and I was like and I right away I asked oh I'm like why because I was health conscious at the time. I had been for a while, and I said, "Oh, I don't. I'm actually trying to avoid gluten as well because
Yeah.
of the inflammation it causes, you know." And she was like, "Oh,
And
I
then
definitely got her interest.
yeah.
I got her interest right there. It's like I did research on her or something, even though I had no idea."
He hooked me right there. He was
Yeah.
super supportive.
And then she explained to me why and about how PCOS affects a lot of women in America and in the world. And she told me
Mm-hmm.
how the symptoms and the causes it can have with many aspects of a woman's life. Right away I had to like step back a moment, be like, wow, like so you really can't even eat normal or think about the stuff that everybody does. So yeah.
Yeah, I had like a different approach. And I think that the way I presented it to you was so confident, because I had been dealing with it for long enough to feel like confident about how I'm
Mm-hmm.
managing it. I feel good. I found what's working for me. So when I said it to you, it wasn't really a problem. And so you kind of took it as like, oh, she has this thing and she's handling and that's it. And we moved on from it. We ordered gluten and dairy free and it
Yeah.
was fine. So
Talian's first drink that I ever got for her. I mean, this is important because guys, guys get girls drinks. It's a thing. Some guys are prideful. I take pride in getting a girl the right drink. You know, Today me and Ty went out
tell
to
him,
dinner
babe.
actually, and I went through the wine list and I got her a white wine
Delicious.
that was obviously PCOS friendly, but
But on our first date,
first date, because she told me she can't have gluten, I had a conversation with the bartender, and because I knew this bar or this restaurant, they had this special gold pineapple cup. The ones that every girl loves right now, the huge ones that are gold, whatever.
I
So
still have it. I mean, you bought me one
yeah, I
after
bought a
that
separate one.
date.
But anyways, I asked the bartender, I'm like, can you please make a gluten-free drink? I had to explain to him what that meant. I know that Tito's is gluten-free because they're made from potatoes.
Yes.
So he made it. She was like, "Oh, what's happening? What's going on there?" And I didn't tell her. I was like, "Oh, you just wait." And the guy brought it, and I was like, "Here you go." And she loved it. I think I had her in the bag.
It was so cute. It was really cute. Very
Yeah.
thoughtful, gentleman-like. It was perfect.
Yeah, no, it was a great time. We ate up the food. We afterwards went out to a bar. Just talked most of the night. It was a really get to know each other kind of night. It
Yeah.
wasn't like we
Did you
went
know
out.
you wanted to marry me after that night?
I knew you were special for sure. It's hard to say like like the whole
Yeah.
cliche story of like I knew she was the one from the first time I laid eyes on her. Like obviously you caught my attention from the first moment. You were very different than most girls. I knew that, but like I knew after that night, okay, there's definitely
There's something going on
yeah,
here.
there's something in this soup that
So
I'm gonna
funny.
take a
Sip
spoon
of.
of, yeah, a sip of.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm
Yeah.
just lucky that I was able to be in that place in my life where I was confident with PCOS when I met you, because
Yeah.
that set the tone for everything else. it's hard when you're going gluten and dairy free while you're already in the relationship, because the guy's like, what are you talking about? What's going
Mm-hmm.
on? You're still learning. You
Yeah.
can't explain it to them. Hopefully you ladies can share this podcast with your spouses or
Yeah.
partners so that they can start understanding
Well,
PCOS
and
and the
that's the tough
lifestyle.
thing is the tough thing is not only getting someone to understand and support you, but also you have to explain to them in the correct way.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, "Hey, I can't have this or that," and expect them to just be like, "Okay, I understand, and I'm gonna try to help you." You know,
Yeah.
like you have to kind of not force them into a corner, and also let them eat what they want to eat,
Yeah.
and then let them kind of come around your way. Like Tali never tried to force me to eat a certain way, even now that we're married. So you guys know we got married about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
We've been since in June or late May, and it's been great. Since we got married, I
Yes.
really haven't felt much difference in my diet, day to day eating. Tali does do gluten free most of the time, but it doesn't make a difference to me because I don't eat that much
Yeah.
bread. I love to have
You
good
still get
carbs.
I get him regular bread.
Yeah, we go
Yeah.
to the farmers market and we get this special sourdough bread that the guy
Mm.
there makes himself. Amazing.
And you like cheddar cheese, so I get slices of cheddar
Yeah,
cheese for
that's
your
for like
sandwiches or
sandwiches.
whatever.
I like to have a turkey club sandwich or something along those lines. It goes perfect. But besides, those kinds of things, I don't suffer.
Yeah, not at all. I feel like when I make something that could have cheese in it, you can still add it on after I make it, like a soup, a chowder. I mean, whatever. Like the other day,
Yeah.
I made a Mexican style soup, and you put cheese on
I mean,
top.
cheese is cheese. I'm not
Yeah.
dying for cheese all the time. Cheese has a place. And if I say cheese one more time in this sentence, I will not eat cheese again.
And then pasta, for that, I bought high
Oh my
protein,
god,
like
I love
chickpea
gluten-free pasta.
pasta.
Yes.
Listen,
The
there
ones
are a
Tali makes
lot
are
of
amazing.
gluten-free pastas out there, and a lot of them are awful. I don't care what anyone says; they fall apart.
What's the nochi ones you
can't
made
reheat
2 days
them.
ago, 3 days ago?
I made gnocchi the other day.
Capello's.
It
Oh,
was,
is that what it's called? Gnocchi?
yeah,
I
it's
call them
called
nochi.
gnocchi.
Capello's, right? That's the brand?
I think so. It's
Amazing.
from Whole Foods. It was
So
delicious.
good. So good.
We try new things together. He's open to it, right? You're open to
Yeah,
new things all the
definitely.
time.
I'm open to it.
So, and I've shared my favorite gluten-free pasta. It's the shell ones made from chickpeas in the shape of the shell, and it's called Bonza, I believe. And it's delicious. It is
Yeah.
the only one that I recommend. But anyways, so back to the point, getting people on board. And
Yeah.
sometimes, with family and stuff, like you said, they don't understand. You either explain it and they still don't understand, and then you have to take the initiative to cook for yourself and do what you need
True.
to do for your own body.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You kind of have to think, you got to make it right for yourself. Obviously, you want people to support you, but at the end of the day, it's up to you. And you got to take it in your hands to kind of prepare the food you want. And people will eventually come around and understand. Like, that's just how it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. But me and Talian still being married, like we said, the gluten and dairy free life or the PCOS life as well doesn't affect our lives too much. We went to dinner today. We had a pretty good dinner. We had some Brussels sprouts for appetizer. Had some, cauliflower,
Chilean sea bass.
Yeah.
They even brought out like a complimentary little dish for us in the beginning. And
Yeah.
when I said I was gluten free, he put, it was like this nut crumble thing on a lettuce wrap
Yeah.
that he put for me. And
that
then,
was actually on Talian's story. Maybe you guys caught it
Yeah.
or not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll know who the real fans are. Just kidding. So yeah, that explains how we are, and in the future, in the podcast future episodes, we'll talk to you guys about how we are with PCOS day to day and what we do. But besides that, we're gonna have a lot more other topics. We're gonna talk about research and articles about PCOS, and how it relates to women's health currently, and how it relates to you girls. Also, we'll talk about different topics. Like in the upcoming episodes, we'll talk about cravings.
exactly.
Yeah.
Going gluten and dairy free,
Yeah.
how to go grocery shopping and save
Yeah.
money and budget, and how to cook from home if you want to start meal prepping.
Yeah.
Lots of great topics to help you guys really adapt to the gluten and dairy-free lifestyle and manage PCOS in a very doable way.
Yeah. And we're also going to take some DM questions from Instagram.
Yes.
You know, we're going to take some poll questions.
Keep
We'll
your
ask
eye
you.
out for our Instagram
we had
story.
some hilarious responses a couple times when Talon did some poll questions and asked you girls, hey, what do you guys do when you have, you know, some really bad cravings? You know, we got some answers like some people like, I take out the Bible and read a verse. It's just hilarious. You know,
Yes.
like we totally get what you guys are saying, man. Sometimes I don't have PCOS. I'm going to say that 100 times in this podcast, but I don't have PCOS, but I get cravings for certain things like cheese and, you know, bread and whatever, what have you. So I totally get it. So it was funny when we did some questions earlier in the Instagram. So we'll do some of that. And, you know, we'll even highlight some sisters who are doing great in the sisterhood and in Instagram who are following Talia.
Yes.
You know, it's going to be really fun. This
I'll
podcast.
give lots of advice and help
Yeah.
you on your way to send me a testimonial that I can read on this podcast as well eventually.
Yeah. So before we go, what are we doing this weekend?
This weekend, on Saturday, I'm going to take a cooking class with my friend. We're going to learn how to cook a Thanksgiving meal. At Sur La Table, they have cooking classes. It's not
cool.
completely gluten and dairy free, but it pretty much is most of the cooking classes.
So this is like a fall themed kind of dinner. Is this going to have,
Yeah.
is this involving turkey and other poultry dishes?
Yeah, there's a turkey dish, pumpkin pie, cranberry sauce, like from scratch, mashed potatoes, all of the good stuff. I want to be able to make it really good because we are hosting Thanksgiving. By the time you ladies are listening to this podcast, you will have seen on Instagram story my beautiful Thanksgiving dinner.
You're going to see what we did. It's our first year living together, and it's our first year hosting Thanksgiving. We're going for it.
Thanksgiving
we have big
and
aspirations.
Friendsgiving.
That's right. We have big aspirations, as you guys
They're
can
like
tell.
5 days apart.
People are like, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind? We're like, we'll do it.
We're fine.
We're just so good at hosting. We have a great history of hosting people.
And we'll be talking about it in the future episodes. How we host.
Talian's a great cook. Besides being a PCOS guru, she's a great cook. I'm a great griller. I have a smoker.
Yes.
We just know how to get it together. And I'm also a hard worker. I can move things, big objects around for Talia as she needs. So we're a great team when it comes to hosting. So.
Yeah. I mean, somehow we managed to make our guests eat gluten and dairy-free meals without noticing.
True. Many times people come to our house and they eat a GF and a DF meal. That's what we'll call it. But so that's great. I'm very happy you're practicing your kind of training for Thanksgiving. So that's good. And then at night we'll visit my parents, and then Sunday we'll be doing some recording of some workouts and some other things related to a course that will be coming out maybe in the near future. You guys may or may not have heard about it. I don't know. We're
gonna give you a rundown about the course.
You'll hear about it later.
Episodes, but ladies.
Oh, and not to mention Sunday, it's football time.
Oh God.
Football time. That'll be fun.
You can hear him like screaming about football in the background of my stories. I'm trying to cook something on a Sunday afternoon, and you're like,
there's one thing
behind the scenes, like tearing up the living room.
Let me look forward to this one thing in fall. I can't go outside and play sports because of the weather. Let me just enjoy watching sports a little bit. So, So, that's our plans for the weekend. Sounds fun, but that'll be us, guys. And I think that about wraps up episode 1 of A Cyster and Her Mister. This is just the first one. We're going to have so many fun episodes coming to you once a week. And you guys are going to love it. Yeah, we can't wait to show you guys more.
Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for our upcoming episodes.
That's right. Please remember to subscribe, leave a comment, subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, podcast, wherever you are. And we'll talk to you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to come check out the Cysterhood. It's my monthly membership site where sisters just like you are learning how to move through the stages of PCOS. From stage 1, cold and alone at the doctor's office, to stage 5, nailing the PCOS lifestyle, gluten and dairy free. Get ready to finally feel in control of your body again.